Celebrities around every corner, and women that want you bad. Nothing but 9s and 10s, folks. Would you be interested in that? Well, welcome to Epstein's Island.
Kill Tony is changing, and depending on who you ask, that's either the beginning of the end or the start of something much bigger. Episode number 758 with Donnell Rawlings and Trevor Wallace felt like a turning point. Not because of controversy, not because someone bombed, but because the show felt different. Kill Tony has always thrived on edge, on roast culture, on discomfort, on that feeling that at any moment someone could get verbally executed. That's the DNA of the show. And for years, critics have complained that the show leaned too far right, whether through Tony's tone, certain political jokes, controversies surrounding Tony Hinchcliffe himself, or even more recently, backlash around Kill Tony alum Hans Kim.
My take on Hans Kim is we need to... So this video doesn't get taken down, I mean it metaphorically. But no bully ever stops their bullshit when you ask a principal, when you ask an institution, because the institution is meant to protect abusers. And people are like, oh, karma, that's not how the system's set up. The system is set up for him to continue to succeed. He said he's making $300,000 a year by being racist. You just gotta beat the shit out of these people. Like that high schooler that punched that other kid in the face that was saying that he supports ICE. That was the only way to solve that situation.
There's always been this perception that Kill Tony belonged to a particular cultural lane. But lately, it's starting to feel broader. Episode 758 didn't feel like a tight underground roast chamber. It felt like a variety show. More musical numbers, bigger moments, broader appeal. The most noticeable shift came at the end of the episode when 21-year-old golden ticket winner Tony Scar closed the show with a full musical number.
What if I told you there was a place where brilliant minds could collide? Where you could be drowning in pussy even if you're only the size of Big Mike. Celebrities around every corner, and women that want you bad. Nothing but 9s and 10s, folks. Would you be interested in that? Well, welcome to Epstein's Island. I'm sure you won't forget it. I'm trying not to get sued here, so everything I say is alleged. It's always perfect weather. I wonder who controls that. Probably the guys with the beady eyes and 1/4 of a hat.
Epstein Island, Clinton, Joe Biden, the whole political circus. The content was undeniably controversial, but Scar has something that makes people lean in rather than recoil. Charm, confidence, a kind of innocence that softens the edges. You could see the crowd respond to him differently than they might have responded to someone delivering the exact same lyrics in a harsher tone. And then Adam Ray appears in disguise to join him, a disguise some fans compare to Uncle Laser.
I got dragged to the island by my friend Leanne. She had a tampon in her purse, but no game plan. There was racquetball and pinball and badminton too.
And not a single ball that left the island was blue.
Well, I didn't want to go, but I didn't want to miss the show. 'Cause ever since I was a young boy, I had FOMO. 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 I had the fear of missing out. I didn't want to go, but I had FOMO. Everybody, I had FOMO.
That moment felt theatrical, almost sketch-like. It wasn't just stand-up anymore, it was performance. And that's important, because music-infused comedy isn't new. Morgan J has built a massive following doing exactly that, blending crowd work with musical riffs. Years before that, Billy Connolly did it. Reggie Watts made an entire career out of musical absurdity. Mark Rabelais built an empire on looping improvised music and chaos.
Too many people get now, and that's too many people get y'all. That's too many people get y'all. I got too many people getting now. We gotta stop with all of this now. We gotta stop with all of this, y'all. We gotta stop with all of this now. We gotta stop with this now. And listen, stop that. You gotta stop that.
Kill Tony leaning into music isn't betrayal, it's evolution. And evolution usually happens when something starts to go mainstream. Let's be honest, Kill Tony is not the scrappy comedy store side room show anymore. Netflix is involved. The mothership is involved. Bigger names are involved. Production value is higher. The stakes are bigger. When you start stepping into that world, the bite changes. Not because Tony suddenly became soft, but because the audience gets wider. And when the audience gets wider, the tone adjusts. The sharper edges smooth out slightly to accommodate people who might have been previously put off by the pure roast brutality of it. That doesn't mean the show is losing its identity, it means it's expanding. And then there's Donnell Rawlings. This was his third Kill Tony appearance. If you've been in the Kill Tony subreddit for more than 5 minutes, you know Donnell is divisive. Some fans think he's disruptive, a bad sport, too loud, too chaotic. But I've always thought that criticism misses something. Donnell understands the rhythm of the show. Yes, he's abrasive. Yes, he talks over people. But he also knows how to weave in and out of moments. He knows when to escalate and when to pivot. He's not random, he's reactive. And sometimes that can be very funny.
You know what? It sounds like he's describing Juanita right now.
Oh, Juanita. The very famous Juanita. Juanita famously talked about how black guys don't want. Juanita is a.
She's trans, ain't it?
Is a obese trans.
Don't know you would bring that up. That's crazy.
But Donnell thought it was just a thick Mexican chick. And he said, hey, you know, I'd be down. And then I informed him. It's basically.
That's not what the fuck I said.
But then.
It was worse.
It was much worse than that.
I know women in the Midwest look just like
Women in the Midwest do look like trans linebackers. Yeah.
And then my DMs was flooded with guys named Tanya.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That was a guy.
Yeah.
We figured that part out, okay?
His infamous second appearance, the one where he stormed out, still gets referenced constantly. But even that, many fans argue, was a bit. As Kill Tony Raw put it in a Reddit thread, you still not realizing the storming out was a bit is why you're confused and hate him. And that might be the key to understanding Donnell. He plays in meta. He leans into discomfort. He pushes the line of what feels real versus performative. If you take everything at face value, you'll hate him. If you understand the ebb and flow, you see the maneuvering. In episode 758, he felt more settled, less combative, more engaged.
I don't know too much about you, whatever, but you have a very funny energy. It always reminds me of like Howie Mandel, when Howie Mandel first started, right? Mm-hmm. He had this nervous energy and he worked with it. This is my first time seeing you, but you look funny, you sound funny, and you're funny.
Hey, remember the last time you were on, you wanted to f that trans girl? Thank you, sir.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Tom. I'm sorry.
You know what? That's funny. I'll just leave it at that.
He bounced off Trevor Wallace well. He riffed without derailing the structure. And that structure is what feels more intentional lately. Kill Tony is starting to feel like it's building something beyond the podcast. Tony Hinchcliffe has hinted recently that big things are coming. Films, expanded projects. That language doesn't sound like a guy protecting a niche underground show. It sounds like someone building infrastructure. Almost like he's trying to build his own Saturday Night Live, but for stand-up culture. A pipeline, golden ticket winners, recurring characters, musical numbers, sketch-style moments, panel chemistry. If that's the vision, then going mainstream isn't selling out. It's scaling up. Of course, scaling comes with trade-offs. The show won't feel as dangerous as it did when it was pure roast chaos in a smaller room. The controversies will be handled differently. The edges will be moderated slightly. But maybe that's not a loss. For years, people on the left have avoided Kill Tony because they saw it as a mean-spirited or politically tilted.
What's something that people think is comedy that you think is not comedy?
Oh, shock humor. I hate shock humor. I hate people to say things because they want to shock you into laughter. That's not funny, and it never lasts. It never lasts. Be creative and write real material. Shock material is just dumb. Like the Tony Hinchcliffes, those comics, I don't like those. I don't like because it's not comedy. It's mean. You know what I mean? It's mean. It's mean stuff. Comedy's not supposed to be mean. Comedy's supposed to be relieving.
If the show becomes more musical, more theatrical, more variety-driven, that opens the door to a broader audience who just want to laugh without feeling like they've stepped into a cultural war zone. Does that dilute their original bite? Maybe. But it also stabilizes longevity. And longevity is the real game. Episode 758 didn't feel like the old Kill Tony. It felt bigger. Not necessarily better, not necessarily worse, just bigger. And when something gets bigger, it changes. The question isn't whether Kill Tony is going mainstream, it clearly is. The question is whether Tony Hinchcliffe can build something that keeps its soul while expanding its reach. If he can, then this isn't the death of Kill Tony, it's the next phase. And honestly, that might be the most interesting part of all.